Central comes in today, record of 1-2. What do they have to do to draw even? A little bit of technical difficulties here as Reese tries to get his headset back on and adjust it after a little bit of a break. Iowa Central walks in 1-2. Their first game lost by 1 point, and the 2 games after that both decided by less than 8. So this is a team that's used to close or has been in nothing but close games as of right now. So as we get started with this game, Reese, who was here for the first game, got to see it. What do they need to improve upon from that first game if they want to get a W today?
Well, in their first game with Grandview, they really limited the turnover margin. So to win here today, you need to keep those turnovers down like they did against Grandview. Should be golden for today's success.
As we get ready here and set up, just like every game so far, Gryffindor to take the tip, wins the opening tip, but it's controlled by Penn. Cochran dribbling, whipping it over to Dixon. Got it at the top of the key, but now being pressured by that defense outside. They seem to really want to keep pressure on the perimeter. Iowa Central's defense seems to be something they focused on. And they get the tip on the inbounds pass. Credit the steal to Rawling there. So far it seems like on defense, at least in that first drive, Reese, the Iowa Central Tritons really want to control the outside perimeter, not give any open shots to the outside. Dribbling over to the right, to the top of the key, wide open for 3. Gonna fall limp and be corralled and then switch back to the other end. The corner, she takes the dribble in. Cochran trying to get it in again, tipped away by Rawling.
Little confusion inside on the offensive part by William Penn.
Confusion on offense and defensively for Iowa Central. That's 2 straight drives that Rawling has got her hand in there and ruined. She's kind of winning that inside battle early today. Now getting it back in. Still 0-0. Dribbling it up the court is Charisma Curry. Gets it back. Swings it over now, a pass into Gryffindor, who's dangerous driving, but this time she loses the handle. 2-on-1. Tracking it back over, and the pass is errant. Looking for Cochran, and right there, it'll go as a turnover, and that's 2 points they just threw away.
Yep, a very easy 2 points. A missed opportunity there.
Curry dribbling. Swing it over. Trying to find something down here in the corner. They get it back to Curry. Still 0-0 as Curry tries to dribble in. They get a hand in there, but she's able to control it. Morgan. Back to Curry. Not much time to work with now. 6 seconds, but they find Rawling wide open in the middle. Her pass is missed. Rebounded by Gryffindor, who puts up the shot. And those 2 pretty good looks for Iowa Central there. Nothing going in, and now a 3 on the return. Falls short. But they did find something there. Rawling seems to be winning the battle inside, both offensively and defensively. Morgan wide open, decides not to take the 3. Rawling now backing up her woman.
They call it travel on Rawling. First turnover for Iowa Central.
7:53 left to play in this first quarter. The pass in, now dribbling it across half court. Raven Dixon swinging it over to Sainty. He's now dribbling in challenge. Iowa Central does a good job rotating numbers, but they'll find a wide open 3 at the top of the key. Cochran, good job drawing in the defense, and then just a good job passing outside. Morgan, swing over to Toto. Toto now has it. Point guard working from the key, trying to feed it in. It's corralled down there. Good effort. Gryffindor ends up with it. That'll be 2 points. 2-3 now, Iowa Central. First points of the day go to Gryffindor. And Reese, last game against Grandview, we saw them play more perimeter offense as Gryffindor Stays with her woman, gets the tip, and it'll end up in the hands, and the steal goes to Woodward. We saw them play more of a fast-paced perimeter game. Now they seem to really like their matchups on the inside. See who they go to here as Morgan takes the inbounds. Excuse me, it'll be Toto. But now with Rawling off the court, it's Graffunder and Helmke inside. We'll see if they like that matchup as much as they seem to favor Rawling. Toto over to Woodward, takes a shot. It's kissed off, and then they lose the rebound battle down there. A little bit of pushing and shoving, but it'll be going the other way now. Williams. Kokran feeding inside. Just too big and too physical there. Sarah Pajelka gets in now. You see after that, Rawlings goes over. Seems like she's going to re-enter soon. She's sitting over there. Graffunder gets it. Swung down the left, dribbling in. Toto now. Morgan tries a challenge on the dribble. Nothing there working, so she'll swing it back out to Toto. Now Graffunder tries to hit it from the elbow, and if she gets that going, she is a very dangerous player because she can pretty much slash at will. When that jump shot gets going, she's borderline unstoppable, but not yet.
Even though she missed the shot, Iowa Central did a great job passing to get that open shot.
Another thing they needed to do better, and obviously it was the first game of the year last time we saw them, so they're not going to do this as well as they will, and they seem to be doing it very well now, is passing up the good shot for the great shot. And it's something that they've done on the one scoring drive they had, and they've had a couple other wide open looks that just haven't quite fallen. Toto feeding Graffunder. Nothing fancy about that, just beater woman going up. From the elbow, Graffunder is good. That'll be her 4th point on the evening. All 4 of Iowa Central's points owned by her. And Reese, that was just too quick. Just got the shot off. Gron feeding it in. Good passing, but one too many dribbles. I think we had a little bit of pushing away from the ball. Official picks it up. It'll be going the other way, Graffunder.
It'll be the 4th turnover for William Penn.
Already 4 turnovers, and, well, we're not even halfway through the first quarter yet. So you have to figure if this game stays this close, that's going to be a difference maker. Mock, he just entered this game now. Passing it to Charisma Curry. Curry's got Morgan over on the... And they do give and go with it. Now finding Morgan again. Dribbles herself into a little bit of space, but now she's dribbled herself into a corner. Rawling gets the tip pass. Tries to put it in, but it'll be rebounded by Pajelka. Who that matchup between Pajelka and Rawling seems like it's going to be good all day long. Think she didn't quite get the handle on it. Took one too many steps before she got the ball down.
Turnover number 5, and it's going back to the Tritons. 5-4 in favor of William Penn. Curry, the ball handler.
Getting it over to Morgan. Now it's tipped back. Able to keep it on her half of the court is Curry. Morgan to Rawling, and that seems to be a pass they like, and why not? Works from middle to left to the inside.
Rawling doing a great job working down low.
And Rawling really is a tough ask for a defender because she's too big to put a big slow she's too big to put a small fast defender on. As this one, they work the screen, get the 3 off. It's going to go to the ground and be rebounded by Woodward. Rawling too big for a fast player to cover. This one swinging it over to Morgan, misses the 3. But she's also too fast to just have a big immobile player on her. So you really have to find a good defensive player as a matchup for her.
A bad pass, turnover. That's turnover number 6 for William Penn.
And really, at this point, you have to really settle this down before you start getting to the point where you're throwing the game away. They still have a chance to stop it, but 6 turnovers in the first quarter already. Into Rawling.
Rawling again down low.
See what the call is.
Be a holding call on Pajelka. William Penn.
Her first foul.
Curry will take it out of bounds for Iowa Central.
Curry to Graffunder now. Graffunder trying to get a pass over to the corner, but it's almost a turnover. Instead, they're going to get the lucky bounce off of a William Penn player and out. Won't get the turnover for it, but I don't think she'll like how she took care of the ball in that one.
So they'll do it again from the same place.
Rawling gets
Blocked
the shot
away.
blocked.
Graffunder went after the ball, called for a turnover as she fell to the ground.
Pushed in here. Jean Williams. One or two passes over to the corner. Santi. They'll call a foul on Iowa Central here. Looks like they got Mock, her first of the day.
William Penn will take it out of bounds.
It'll be Gibbs to Williams. Pardon me, Santi. Santi doing some dribbling into the screen. Now some one-on-one basketball down there played, but the shot, she earned herself a shot, just couldn't bury it.
Rebound by Graffunder, taken down the floor by Curry.
Morgan gets it to Rawling. Jump ball called, but the possession arrows, I think it's going Iowa Central's way. It is.
And Jean Williams just took it out of the hands of Sarah Rawling. Luckily for Iowa Central, they just got a jump ball called.
Rawling, a vicious move to get herself open on the inbounds pass. I think she was trying to make up for the near turnover she just did. Either way.
Pass was deflected off William Penn.
Curry now examining the plane, giving herself a little bit of a call there. Calls the play, whips it over to Morgan. Back to Curry. Good movement out there to Moore. I'm going to say she traveled before she could get the shot off, though.
Turnover number 3 for the Tritons, compared to 6 of William Penn.
And that one hurts. One less step. That's a big 3 points. Williams doing the dribbling. Getting over to Santi. Over to the corner, a little bit of room to shoot. She gets it off. Kisses up off the backboard. Rebounded by Iowa Central. Still 6-5 here. 2 minutes left to play in the first quarter. Curry dribbling to Mock. Back to Curry. Beautiful ball movement here. It'll get Mock open for a corner 3. Leaves it a bit long. Graffunder trying to save the rebound.
The rebound was deflected out of bounds. It'll stay with Iowa Central. We'll have 11 seconds on the shot clock. Curry will take it out of bounds again.
Curry looking to the middle. Gets it there. Now swung out to Toto. Graffunder setting up a... They tried to set up the screen, but it didn't get her as much room as I think she thought. Shooting right into the block there. Now Graffunder scooping it up.
Great hands by Curry, knocking the ball out of Gibbs' hands.
Curry's always sticking around to try to pick somebody's pocket when they're not paying attention. It's what she does well. Toto.
And that's what she did there. Toto
Dribbling,
drives
challenging.
inside. Curry, step up. Missed the shot, taken quickly by William Penn.
Almost mishandled on the transfer, getting a 3 off, and it's good.
Brianna Donahue with the 3.
First shot she's taken all day, and she buries it. 8-6 William Penn. Now ends up in Curry's hands, out to Toto. Williams up on her, challenging, jukes her out, puts an elbow jumper on, and that was pretty as could be. 8-8 now, winning the one-on-one matchup there.
Donahue tries another three, and she nails it.
And that was pretty much from the exact same spot.
11-8 William Penn.
And that was huge, answering points. Toto.
Six quick.
Two
points for Donahue.
Beautiful move put on. She can't put the 2 points at the end of it though.
A race to the corner, but it'll be out of bounds. Off Iowa Central, it'll head to William Penn.
And really, so far with 9.4 seconds left, whatever happens, Iowa Central, while they haven't been finishing shots, has to feel really good about the way their athleticism has been getting them open.
Yep, they've been moving the ball really well. They've limited the turnovers here in the first quarter. We'll see how this first quarter ends.
She's hacked as she goes to the line. I think, yeah, it's a pretty straightforward call for the official. See who they got it on. I'm going to say they got Toto. Her first of the day.
Donahue takes it out of bounds.
Into Moore, who's swarmed by blue.
And a jump ball called. It'll stay with William Penn. 1.7 seconds left here in the first quarter.
So they give up the foul there, and really no reason to. They had her pretty well covered in the post. So either way, we'll see what they manage to get in. It goes down to 0 here. So Iowa Central going to go into the second quarter. Reese trailing 8-11. Manageable, pretty much an even game. We'll see what goes on from here. We'll be right back after this short break on the Triton Nation Network.
Movement. That's the best thing for Iowa Central.
Now Toto has it.
But they got to keep playing their game.
Out to Miller Rawling. You say she walked? They're being very picky with that call today on both sides. Now Dixon. Looks like she's going to take the point for this first possession. She'll bring it across the half-court line with about 9.5 minutes left to play. Dribbled over, now back to her. Swung over to Cochran. Now Dixon has it with a little bit of room to shoot and says she'll get to Dahu, who they like from 3, but this one's not going to fall. But the rebound will fall for a jump shot off the glass, rebounded by Morgan. Toto. Dribbling it up, trying to break her defender down. Swings it over to Morgan instead. Back to Toto. Pump fakes to the corner, then into Miller. Toto, a little bit of contact in, and then drives
Toto
the
up
lane.
the middle. Nice drive by Rachel Toto.
Hasn't decided to put her foot in the ground and go north-south yet all day. When she did, you saw how off guard she caught the defense.
Donahue for three from the top of the key, no good.
I think
And a
Rollins
foul on
fouled
the
on the rebound.
Foul on the floor.
Rawling gets her first. 10-11, so as tight as you can ask for. It'll be Santi coming in. Swing it over. Now she's got it back in her hands. Dixon. To Carter. To Cochran, and then to Santi. And working it really well into the paint. Shot's not going to go, but she gets the rebound on the baseline. Fantastic effort there by Dixon. Break it down. I think they're going to get him on a reach in. There are a couple of tries around here. We'll see what they actually got. Guilty part is going to be Megan Woodward. So put a fresh 30 on the shot clock. This possession is taking a minute and a half off the clock. Swung over.
Great defense by the Tritons right now.
Dixon from the corner. Excuse me. A little bit of a 45-degree angle shot. Just buries that. And really, that's the consequence. You said they're defending well, but it's really hard to keep fouling and defend for a minute on the shot clock.
Very long offensive possession for William Penn, tiring out the Triton players.
Thunder there answers. Seems to be getting the feel of her jump shot today, and that's not good news for anyone trying to defend her. Cochran dribbles. Swings it over to Dixon. Dixon gets it into the post. Blocked and then rebounded by Gerfunder. Swung back to Charisma Curry. Curry now working with 7 minutes in the half.
Gap.
She gets it into Gerfunder.
Gerfunder wide open.
And you see Gerfunder pointing to Curry. That's because that pass could not have been laid on her any better. Dixon. Oh, working on Curry. Curry gets a poke in there, not able to complete the steal, but the defense standing up. Curry still harassing her. She gets into the zone, and it's blocked.
Finally taken away by the Tritons. But that defensive possession goes to Charisma Curry.
Absolute agitation away from the line.
As this pass is deflected, goes out of bounds. It's
Rawling leaves, Turcotte enters.
Curry will take it out of bounds.
And you know, Gerfunder now digging it in.
What a move by
Up and under
Gerfunder.
the basket, beautiful. Her 10th of the day, 16-14. Now dribbling in, trying to get some points in return. Instead, up, off the rim, recovered by Turcotte. Now being dealt with by Curry. And now that last defensive possession by Curry before that you mentioned, yeah, you can draw up all the X's and O's you want, but there's something to be said for just making the opponent uncomfortable. Not giving the opposing point guard any time to move. Pressured her all the way in on a drive, and then finally her teammate's going to get the steal, but that was all Curry. Up and under by Morgan. And you see, that's the shot that they were getting all first quarter and not being able to bury. But those are high percentage shots, so if you take a lot of them, you figure something has to start falling.
Gerfunder just missed the steal opportunity.
Gerfunder's motor never stops, always on effort, and this time now Turcotte's going to come up with a steal.
Great hands by the Triton defense right now.
Turcotte, in addition to this basketball team, as Curry drives.
Triton's up by 4.
Oh, beautiful ball movement, finds Gerfunder wide open. That'll be her 12th, and as this timeout called, Turcotte, in addition to today's lineup that we didn't get to see on opening day because the volleyball team was still playing, seems to be like this is where they want to use her. Don't know if the way she's playing right now, if she's going to stay being a bench player, but right now probably just not totally in the flow of it, having to split practices between both teams. But so far, the first 3 or 4 possessions they've had her in, she looks every bit of in-game shape. They'll be really happy to add that. Turcotte, 5'9", sophomore from Alaska. We'll see what they can get out of her that they didn't have on opening day.
And throughout the season, we get the benefit of seeing her development.
Sante's going to take this throw with about 5 minutes left till halftime. Triton's up 2014. Williams over, trying to find Sante. Able to chase down an errant pass and now swing it back to Williams.
Great pressure.
Not being able to find much penetration, so they'll take the three. Jump ball here, possession arrow going towards William Penn. And that, while not a straight-up win defensively, the shot that they made them force, it wasn't wide open. They really, really like the way their movement forced the team into a bad situation there. Dahu's going to have the throw-in as the officials have a conversation. 4:37 left, 28 on the shot clock after the jump ball. Out to Sante. Williams at the top of the key. Williams being guarded by Curry, gets it over to Sante. Morgan, block stole by Graffunder, and now they're trying to get something going with pace on the other end. Running the ball well is Morgan. She'll get the layup and go to the line.
Nope,
gonna take the block. Gonna take the charge. I didn't think she had her feet quite set, but either way, I thought she was still sliding in. Official disagrees with me. And honestly, the way these last three possessions have gone, that's a big break from William Penn. They couldn't have afforded that momentum shift, and instead they're right back with a chance to make it a two-possession game. Rotating over Sante from the corner, and just like that, 2017. Now is Rawling over there. Even if she doesn't crack the starting lineup, another thing Turcotte does is give them one more person. She works inside there. Gonna say she was hacked going to the line. Another thing Turcotte does is having another player at that position allows Rawling to get some form of a break, which is something she didn't have earlier. Swung out to the edge. Now they'll get it up to the top of the key. Curry takes a couple step forward, fires it over to Morgan. Now it's back with Curry. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Careful with the pass out there, trying to make a move, and she will get through the middle. Something that she's done twice now with good effect, 4 of her points. When she has a chance to slice, she will.
Very good drive. Curry, great defense on Williams right now.
Just agitating Williams, and eventually they're going to get the steal there. I think that's going to go. Now it's going to go to the Graffunder.
Graffunder. Great pass by Curry, I believe, who gets the assist.
Tipped up. And then somehow up and over Rawling. I think the defensive scheme worked about as well as it could have there. I don't know how that one found its way in the basket. 24-19. Morgan. Now Curry working. Gets one drive in, and she just seems to be too much for her defender right now. Put 2 more on the board for her. Curry, point guards don't often get to fill unless you're really having yourself a great day. They're really attractive stats, but in assists and in pure defensive pressure, Curry definitely leaving her mark today.
As Donahue travels. One thing that the Tritons are doing very well is finishing.
Which is something they struggled with early. Because there was no lack of wide open shots that they worked themselves into in the first quarter. It's just now they're falling.
As Curry walks it up court.
Trying to get inside. He'll go over to Miller.
Morgan wide open for 3. Off the mark. Taken down and running with it is William Penn.
Reaching in is Curry. Keeps herself clean, but what a pass in. She's going to go to the line now.
Sarah Petrelska.
And Petrelska, what? She got herself a little bit open, but the pass by Dixon, she pretty much only had a hand to hit, and she pegged it. End up with a chance for a three-point play here. 26-21. Sinks the free throw. Now it's 26-22. Curry trying to get herself open with some dribbling. Finds a seam, goes in.
And fouled.
High and off the glass, but I'm going to say she was hacked and going to the line now. This is the area where Iowa Central did struggle game one, but I think most basketball teams do. We'll see how far the free throw shooting has come. First one, she leaves a bit short.
Foul is called on number 21, Shayna Spears.
So see if she can salvage one from this trip to line, and she will. Puts it right through Main Street, 27-22. Just a minute and a half left to play in this first half. Dribbling around the edge. Now to Petrelska. Challenging in.
Double teamed. Forcing a turnover. But it'll be a jump ball, and it'll go to the Triton's way.
Morgan somehow able to keep the smallest bit of grip on that ball to force it. She was really working to keep some kind of possession, and they'll get the ball with a minute 14 now.
A great help by Morgan on Petrelska, forcing the turnover.
And then Turcotte finally able to get her hand on the pass coming in. Out to Morgan. Toto. Breaking down, trying to drive. Steal, and I think that steal is going to go to Cochran as they come back the other way. Dahu. Cochran. Dribbling, finds a little bit of space, gets the jump shot in from the middle of the lane and lays it in. Now it's 27-24. Both teams going on runs in this second quarter. Getting into Turcotte, takes it up, unable to finish. Was she fouled?
Yes,
she was. So now these are big free throws. At least one makes it a couple possession game. First one up. Off the rim and out. Leaving it a bit short. So still 27-24. See if she can split them. Takes the dribble. Puts it up. Second one. Swirls around the rim and out. 30 seconds left to play. And now trying to play 2 for 1, and they get it immediately. Driving off the first pass they get. William Penn puts it in. It's 27-26 now. 30-second timeout. And a smartly taken timeout. 27-26, and you figure Iowa Central's now going to be working for the last shot. It's pretty much the way this is going to go. 30-second timeout. So really the story of the game for Iowa Central has been good defense in Graffunder. Graffunder's got herself 12 points, and that defensive unit is playing very, very well right now. Reese, what's been the key to defensive success so far?
Definitely helping your teammates when they get beat.
To not leave the lane open. Pretty much,
Right.
When someone gets beat on the edge, there's always 3 or 4 on the inside to help. They also seem to have been, because they haven't met mini wide open shots on the perimeter, which seems to be something they really focused on. Now 10 seconds left. We'll see what they come up with. Toto beats her woman, finds a little bit of space, puts it up off of it, and careful not to foul there is Graffunder. no time left to shoot. They don't get it up. So we're going to come in to halftime with a 1-point lead while Iowa Central. They're up 27-26 right now. We'll see who comes out on top in the second half after this 10-minute break. But for now, you're watching basketball on the Triton Nation Network. And welcome back to Triton's basketball. With about a minute left until this half gets itself underway, when it does resume, it's going to be 27-26 in favor of the Iowa Central Tritons. So, Reese, we saw a pretty good split between offense and defense. What adjustments do you think both sides made?
I'm pretty sure that Iowa Central didn't commit many turnovers in the first half. But William Penn has to finish their shots.
Yeah, William Penn's at 13 right now on the turnover mark. So, that's not a half that they're going to be proud of, turnover-wise.
A few jump balls in that first half.
Going to start this. Second half. William Penn possession. Iowa Central, of course, won the opening tip with Grifunder. Jean Williams take the opening throw, and when she does, 10 minutes on the clock, 30 seconds on the shot clock. Get this thing started. Williams now feeding it inside, back to Williams, trying to work for that outside shot. Pounding it in. Can't get it to fall, though. Missed there by Nina Carter. Now Charisma Curry, who Reese had a heck of a first half.
She did, not only on offense, but definitely defense.
Rawling. Trying to feed it out to Morgan. A little bit of a miss on the handle there. Now Grifunder. Morgan. Walking the baseline. Trying to feed it back to the middle. Ill-advised pass there. Picked off by Projelka. And just as we were talking, Iowa Central took care of the ball pretty well in the first half. First possession of the second half is a turnover. 3-point.
Donahue from the corner.
And she has been dangerous all day. She's 3 for 4 from the line now.
9 points for Donahue.
Take that early lead. 27-29.
Little mishandle the ball by Curry.
Woodward now trying to find Curry. That's 2 straight they've thrown away off the half.
Bad pass by Woodward.
Good little Euro step in. Gets it to fall. Old school, but it still works. 31-27. That was Cochran's 9th point of the day. Woodward. Now Curry. Got Rawling. She wants it in the middle. Trying to feed it to her, but it's picked off. Now going the other way with pace. Coming in and almost an identical move to the one she scored on last time, but it doesn't fall. Now it will, and I think they fouled going up. They did. So Cochran really establishing her dominance early in the second half and picking up her second foul of the day is Woodward. So now 33-27.
Nona Carter at the line.
Sinks that one, does Carter. So the 3-point play is complete. Now Iowa Central trails by 7 early in the second half. 8 minutes left in the third quarter.
7-0 run by William Penn to start the second half.
Toto. To Morgan. Back to Toto. Williams. Now trying to find something down the left side. Swings herself.
Nice
spins
spin
into the
move.
lane and finishes.
What a spin move.
34-29, and now the pass up and over Turcotte. Unable to lay it in. Both of these teams seem to do a really good job of switching up pace. They'll spend a lot of time, playing a methodical half-court defense, but when it's time to go, they have no problem playing in transition. Grifunder loses the handle a bit, but I think it's because she was fouled. It is.
Reaching foul. Call on Nona Carter.
Carter's second of the day. Be Toto on the throw-in. Looking for Turcotte. Tries to force it in there, but it's out of bounds. I think it was off of William. It was. Off of Williams. So now they'll have to come up with a different formula for the throw-in. Couldn't quite find Turcotte open there. Now she's trying to cut in. Still nothing going. Has to get rid of it there. Graffunder takes it in the corner. Now challenging. Putting her back to the defender. And they're going to force a travel. That wasn't a mental error. That was just good defense. Force that. 34-29. Williams. Examining the terrain. Decides to pass it over to Cochran. Drives. Draws the entire defense to her and then just plastered it off the glass. Didn't really have much to shoot at there. Turcotte setting up the screen. Nothing doing. Toto swinging over to Morgan. To Graffunder. Trying to challenge one-on-one. Toto freezes her on the shot. On the pump fake, but doesn't follow it up with a shot. Graffunder drives in, up and under it. And
nice.
She's pretty much been doing it all day at will. 16 points for Graffunder. Williams. In, Turcotte gets a hand on it. I'm going to say she shoved off to get position. So she'll go.
No, it's going to be an offensive foul. Not sure who they got on that.
Not sure who they got on, and they also took a little bit longer after the whistle calling it and getting everyone moving the other way earlier. Everyone stayed set up in that half-court area, so we'll see who they throw up on the board when they finally get that sorted out on the foul. Swinging it over to Williams. Toto driving to Morgan. Now Morgan driving because she traveled on her way. I think there Morgan went into the lane fishing for contact, and that might have been why she took that extra step, just trying to be a bit aggressive.
And now the Triton turnovers getting to him here.
That's the fourth of the half. Oh, a three-point launch. It's open, and it's good. Cochran finding herself... Well, you couldn't ask for a better three-point shooting situation. She had a good angle to shoot at, and she was wide open. Toto. Dribbling down by 6. 31-37. Morgan. Down the line to Turcotte. Has a little bit of a lane. Dumps it over to Williams. Out to Toto. Shoots the three.
Graffunder takes it away.
Just took it right away. Williams for three. She's good. 34-37, and now there was a lot of rhythm in the passing game there.
Great ball movement, great passing.
Even after the rebound, they had to improvise a bit, but they found the open lane.
A reach and foul is going to be called on Turcotte.
Now she's got to be careful.
Pardon
me, I thought she was picking up her second in limited time. That's her first of the day. Curry enters, Toto leaves. Rawling enters, Turcotte leaves. Donahue takes the throw in. Over, a little bit of space to shoot from three. Might have been a deep two, either way it doesn't go. Now Iowa Central within one possession of tying this.
Looked like a little bit of a rush shot for William Penn. They had a full shot clock.
That wasn't rushed though. Blank point reigns. Rawling puts it away. Trying to put it up to the post. Good defense by Iowa Central. Going to force a throw in here. This is a very good shooting team, a very good driving team, good speed. But that little pass, that trying to get an outlet pass up and over everyone's head, that's where if you're looking at this team on paper, you figure you can maybe get to Iowa Central just a little bit because they're sound everywhere else, but they do lack a little bit in the size department. Trying to dribble at right now. Trying to find some way through the middle.
That's going to be on Graffunder. Her first.
First of the day, and as physical as she plays and as well as she's been playing defense, it's impressive to keep herself clean for as long as she has. Dixon swinging it over now in the corner. Solid. Now, Santi blocked.
Another-
Morgan, she's got Gerfunder running in front of her, decides not to take the long pass. Instead, they'll settle into half court. And now, they're going to call a charge. Confusing call, going to be honest there. The first one, Reese, was 50-50. That one looked pretty clear cut that it was a defensive foul. The call going against Iowa Central. They'll have to work with it now.
That charge call on Charisma Curry, her first.
Oh, losing the inside battle is Rawling, and they'll get a point out of it. And that's going to be a matchup that will be a little bit difficult because I mentioned Rawling somewhere in between a perimeter player and a post player. She's just a bit too big for the perimeter players, just a bit too quick for the post. Now she challenges her woman, has a speed advantage, gets around the corner, is fouled on the way to it. But what that also means is now they play the bigger player out. They pay for most of the first half. William Penn played Projelka, which is about even with her in size. Now they seem to be challenging her for the first time in the game. Zoe Nedrick entering, so we'll see how she handles the bigger size of the bigger post player.
Nedrick called for her first foul. Rawling missing her first free throw.
And so far the answer is they're playing each other even. They both won on their offensive chances so far. We'll see who can come up. She just sinks one of the two. 37-39. Now through the middle, and she gets a lot of contact down. And maybe a little bit of trying to make it look good after it. A little bit of showmanship there to try to buy the call, but it was also after the whistle was already blown, which makes it look a little bit more embarrassing from the player's call. But the end result is going to be a trip to the line, so she gets what she wants. Can't sink the first one, though.
Turcotte returns.
And they're really giving her a lot of minutes. They seem to trust her, and why not? She's been solid the entire time she's been on the court.
Nedrick sinks the second.
So now 37-40. Now dribbling, good job. They're trying to pressure. She gets past her woman on the key. And well, you can't put it any other way, but that was offensive mastery and then unable to finish it at the end.
Turcotte called for the foul. Only her second foul.
Charisma Curry did a lot of work to get that shot and then just couldn't quite put the layup in.
William Penn already in the bonus.
Nedrick misses her first one. The bad news is you fouled, but the good news is you fouled a position that doesn't normally have the higher free throw percentage on the team. So you hope you can get out of the trip with only 1 point. That's what they'll do.
As that was happening, Toto checked in for Curry.
Oh, Morgan almost able to find a lane into the basket. Swings it out to Williams, and it'll go out of bounds. That's just a miscommunication. I think Williams was expecting the pass just a bit more basketwards. And I think Toto was expecting her to come back and swing around across the key as we get this 30-second timeout. So, Reese, we said after the half that the key for both of these teams was to keep the turnovers clean and win the rebound battle. Well, no one's kept the turnovers clean, and the rebound battle's about 50-50, and that's why this game is still anybody's grab.
Yeah, the Tritons mostly kept the turnovers down in the first half, but here in the second half, William Penn is already in their bonus free throws, whereas William Penn has kept the fouls down in this second half, but fouled more in the first half.
And another reason that the foul advantage might be going towards William Penn is because they're built more around driving and post play, where Iowa Central is a very good jump shooting team.
Tipped away by Gerfunder.
As I say this, Gerfunder's going to have a chance to drive, draws contact, puts it up.
And a block call called on William Penn. Gerfunder will head to the line to shoot two.
And now a sigh of relief went out of Grifunder there because the last two 50-50 calls haven't gone the offense's way. There's been two very key charge calls called earlier. So as soon as Grifunder made contact and saw her woman go down, I think she panicked a bit. But she gets the call either way, puts his first free throw in. That's her 17th of the day. 38-41 as she goes to the line for her second. Puts that away too. Not the woman to foul. Makes him pay for it.
Santee was called for the foul.
Now swinging it over. Trying to get something going down the baseline, but mobbed. Finds her open, and she sinks the jump shot. Gibbs there. Williams into Grifunder. Walking the baseline, trying to swing it over to Morgan. Able to get a paw on it is William Penn, but still going to be Iowa Central possession. 2:12 left to play. 2:12 on the game clock. 23 on the shot clock. Toto going to take the throw in. Trying to get out, and they're going to give away an easy layup down the side. Chasing his Morgan, but just going to let the lay-in go. 39-45, and really smart play by Morgan there. No reason to pick up a foul on that. Wasn't going to do an awful lot of good. Williams loses it too. Now having trouble keeping in sync is the Iowa Central offense.
Taken away by Morgan.
And this continues to be a close game. Morgan dribbles, goes at her woman. Grifunder tries to get the rebound, but it's going to end up going to Nedrick instead.
Morgan missed the shot. No, she'll
And
she'll
now
get
the
it back.
pace of play is becoming frantic. Possession arrows going Iowa Central's way. And Reese, for the last about 45 seconds, I think both teams lost control of their pace. They need to settle back in now. That was a really just blistering 45 straight seconds of play, and I think we had 4 turnovers in it combined.
Yeah, definitely the Tritons are off pace right now. They need to settle down, as you said, get back in their rhythm.
You see, there is such thing. Working fast is not a bad thing. Working too fast is. Both teams there working too fast. And this one put up off balance, unable to make it go. And I bet both coaches, with the way that they almost lost control there, were happy to see that ball go out of bounds, so everyone had time to take a break and get back in form.
Foul call on Brazia Solid, her first.
Toto going to the line. Good free throw shooter. This one off the back iron and out, though. Go up and try to make it 40-45. And she will. 40-45 with 1:23 left. Reese, we went into halftime as a 1-point game, and it's still very, very tight. Player goes down, Santi does. And they're in the bonus, so she's going to go to the line. We'll see who they got. They got Morgan, her second of the day. And now you see a team reaping the benefits of playing aggressive offensively. They've been driving, they've been drawing penalties all day, drawing fouls all day, and that's why they're getting all these free throws now. She sinks the first one. See what she does with the second one. She steps up to the line. Right now it's 40-46. And it's going to stay that way. Turcotte comes down with the rebound. Swings it back to Toto. Over to Morgan. Has it wide open. Doesn't pull the trigger. Turcotte back out to Morgan. Trying to work into Turcotte. Well-placed pass, but it's off Turcotte's fingertips. Trying to thread the needle there, but looking back, there might not have been much to try to thread. Santi swinging it over. Now Donahue. Over to Santi. Finds a little bit of daylight and dribbles in. Off the bottom of the backboard. It's going to be a jump ball, I believe.
Nope, they'll call it out of bounds
Yeah, because
on William Penn. They said Santi had it out of bounds.
Good call on the official. So 40-46. Still refuses to be anything but tight to this point. Both teams have gone on runs, but neither team able to separate themselves by much. Into Rawling. Now to Graffunder. Takes the shot. Rolls it up and in.
Nice pass by Rawling.
Now the shot by Donahue.
Donahue's short. Toto back up court. 8
She's got
seconds.
Graffunder running with her. She'll dump it to her, and that's just... Graffunder's going to get the points, but that's fantastic court awareness. Gets it off, and it's short. So just like that, in the last 30 seconds, they go from down by 6 to down by 2. So we had a 1-point difference at half. Now it's a 2-point difference. We'll be right back after this. About a 4-minute break here on the Triton Nation Network. Back here on the Triton Nation Network. 44-46, and we're going to see who comes out on the better end of it. Just 10 minutes left to play. Trying to get it in. Stolen by Rawling. Beautiful footwork there. Timed it perfectly. Now Toto has it. Swings it over to Woodward. Takes the 3. Can't get it to go, but it's rebounded by Toto. Swung out to Morgan. Beautiful job by the guard there to come up and do work. And now another one driving. Morgan goes. Gets it. Now it's 46-46. Toto on Santi. Now swung out to Williams. Trying to get it over to Santi, but it's picked by Graffunder. She's going to go up. Miss the layup. And now another... I can only explain it as a series of miscommunications by everyone involved. But the end result is going to be William Penn. So Graffunder misses a wide open layup. And then Donahue almost throws the ball right back to him. Santi trying to get the throw in. Trying to find something through the middle, but they'll find Donahue on the edge, and a foul was committed before. So still 46-46. Graffunder gets it over to Morgan. Trying to get into Rawling, but it's stolen by Carter. And now moving the other way in this tied game. Only 8 minutes and 40 seconds left to play. Trying to leave their mark on it. They'll have to settle back in. Donahue takes the 3. She's been good from there all day. That's 4 for 6 for her. 49-46. And now what that does, they have to come out and guard her. They've been hurt too much by it now, and that's going to add other threats that they can't cover. At least in theory, but Iowa Central usually pretty good at staying disciplined. Rawling turns around, loses the ball, now fight for it on the floor. Trying to spill it out, but instead it'll be thrown right to a William Penn defender. And then a travel. There have been times recent, in this game, where both teams have kind of taken turns playing one step ahead of themselves. Right there you saw a little bit of it. I think coming down the stretch is going to be which team can keep themselves in the flow of the game and not get too quick.
Most definitely.
Morgan, now back to Charisma Curry. Part of a, as Turcotte gets the ball here, Curry part of a guard tandem that's played very well today between her and Toto. Jump ball with possession arrow. Possession arrow appears to be going towards Iowa Central. It is, and they're going to have a timeout to see what they can do with it here. So Reese, really what appears to be the key to this game, honestly, because the first half was played pretty clean all the way through by everyone. The second half, there's been a few sequences where it kind of got out of control. So really what it's going to come down to, who can play within themselves, within their system, because at the end, when there's about 2 minutes left, there's no room to get out of control. It'll be who can keep their emotions in check. .37 left to play. It's 46-49. William Penn with a slight edge here, and, well, all the time in the world left to play, 7.5. Out to Williams. Miller, now into Turcotte.
5 seconds left on the shot clock. Foul called. Foul called on Asia Cochran. Take it out again from the baseline.
Trying to find Turcotte. Got her back to the basket. She'll have to run it all the way back out.
So that foul resets the shot clock. Morgan taking a three.
Would have been a big one, but just misses. Now dribbling back out with pace is William Penn. Santi dribbles in. Almost dribbles it off her own foot, but keeps control of it. Coming out to challenge is Miller. Miller on Santi. Now up and over Turcotte and in. So now 51-46. Iowa Central got to answer. Miller. Now driving in. Beautiful play up and off the glass. Finds the right angle. Charisma Curry continues what's been a pretty solid day for her all around.
And this time Curry finished the shot. We saw her earlier do that.
Donahue for three. Up and out.
We saw her earlier do that same drive, but she couldn't finish. This time she does finish as she takes it back up the court.
And now you can see her. She does dribble the ball with a great bit of confidence. I think she likes her matchup here. Swings it over to Miller. If she can get Donahue out one-on-one, that's right what she wants, but they're not going to give it to her, so she gives it into Turcotte.
Deflected by Graffunder, but can't save it.
And that's really what Curry's looking for. When you see her take those couple dribbles out and examine it, if she feels like she has someone one-on-one with no help, she's going to drive 9 times out of 10. 48-51. She really favors herself in those one-on-one matchups. She doesn't think there's a lot of people that can hang with her physically. Now, after a little bit of a blocked pass, out at the key, Santi driving. Donahue finds herself open from three again. Does everything but sink it. And you know that with the night that she's having, as soon as she got a shot from that position, everyone's heart skipped a beat on that Triton's defense, but this time she misses. That being said, they won't want to leave that shot open again. Dribbling it now is Curry. Out over and now Rawling in. Gets it blocked out of bounds.
Nope. Foul. Foul called on. That's 4 on Nona Carter.
Rawling to the free throw line. She's a pretty good free throw shooter, and there's a reason. It's because she has to shoot a lot of them. With her size and speed, she'll draw a lot of fouls.
Spears checks in.
And also, on top of that size and speed, there's a lot of aggression in the way she plays. Not able to put that second one in, though. 49-51, still a one-possession game. Out to the corner. The
Donahue.
shot up and over everything.
First air ball we've seen from Donahue today.
And you know what? I don't think it shook her confidence at all. Morgan finds a little bit of space, dumps it out to Graffunder.
Wide open.
That's just Graffunder's going to end up getting the points. Morgan's going to get the assist. That is selfish because Morgan herself had a pretty good shot. Ends up, but realizes that a teammate has a way, way wide open shot, so gives up her 2 points for an easy 2 points for Graffunder.
Graffunder almost got the steal there, but Santee held on.
A little bit under 5 left to play now. Santi. Dribbling it in, gets past everybody. Careful not to foul there is Curry, but she ends up making a defensive pressure. Now she's going to find Graffunder. Wide open layup to the net, puts it in. 53-51, and now the timeout's going to come as momentum has changed on a dime. 40 seconds on the clock ago. They were down by 5, now up by 2. Iowa Central goes on a run here. And they're going to take a full timeout, and we're going to take a little bit of a break here. In about a minute, we'll be right back. Back with basketball on the Triton Network. It's 53-51. It's been a 2 or 1 point lead every time a quarter's ended so far. So, Reese, we're going to see the end to what's pretty much been a tape-to-tape, evenly played basketball game. Dixon now takes the throw in. Goes over to Kakran. Taking the dribble. Trying to set up a screen, nothing going at the top of the key. Driving in.
Blocked by Rawling.
And you see now William Penn has a set with a lot of size on the field, which is something Iowa Central is going to have to figure out how to deal with. Rawling.
And the travel.
They're going to say she didn't keep her pivot foot set.
Rawling lifted that pivot foot. Easy call for the ref.
And you see what this set that William Penn has right now on, it's not probably their best shooting set or their best set athletically, but what it is it's a set that makes these smaller slasher type players from Iowa Central defend the post. I think that's what their plan is for this last 4 minutes. Because Iowa Central, as we mentioned earlier, checks every box athletically, technically, except for size. It's one thing that they might be a little bit under average, and I think that's what William Penn is going at here with his new substitutions.
Petrelka misses the first of her 2 free throws after being fouled by number 20, Morgan. That's Morgan's 3rd foul.
And she sinks it, but she only goes 1 for 2. But that's another thing that happens when you put in your bigger players. Usually your post players aren't your best free throw shooters. So when they do get fouled, you're trading some free throw accuracy for some post play. Morgan swings it out to Toto, who now swings it out to Curry, who Iowa Central has answered with a speed package. We haven't seen much of Toto and Curry on the same court at the same time today. Dixon Dribbling, trying to get something going, directing traffic. Three-pointer in the corner, and it's drained. Beautiful shot there by Kokran. 53-55. Timeout called by Iowa Central. So now with 3 minutes left, 53-55. What do you think if you're a fly on the wall in that huddle? What's the plan right now? I mean, you could say that you want to go about business as usual because it's been a pretty close game, but so pretty much is all you can do, play how you've been playing and hope you get one to fall at the end? .50 seconds left in this timeout. So as we come out of this, really, and we've been calling her name all day, and there's a reason. You sit up here and you look at the scorecard, and every team will tell you that they want to stay even all the way throughout scoring, that they don't want to have one player that has a tendency to have to take a game over to save the offense. But for the second home game in a row, the story of this game has been Michaela Graffunder. She's been doing just about everything. She can hit the perimeter shot. She's always, every single game, she's never going to lose her ability to drive. It's when she can drive and she starts hitting that elbow jumper on you that it gets to be a real pain to defend. And what she's been doing today is both. So William Penn going to have to guard her because she's more than capable of putting up 4 or 5 more before the game ends, and with 3 minutes left, that might be all it takes.
And down the stretch, that's who you want to go to. That's who you rely on. Michaela Graffunder, 26 points so far today. That's who you rely on.
And also a reliable ball handler taking it now is Curry. Trying to get into Rawling.
Only got a second chance.
2 straight. Goes up, gets her own rebound, and then misses her own second chance put up. Slinging it over. Pass isn't good enough to win that 3.
Deflected by Curry, stolen.
And now it's a 3-on-4 drill coming back. No shot's going to be taken until they get to Toto.
Graffunder on the floor, as we just said. Need to rely on her and to come down this stretch.
Morgan now.
Inside to Graffunder.
Finds herself a little bit of space, gets the jumper, and good.
And knocks it down. She has 28 points now.
What do you do with her?
And
if you come up and challenge her, she drives right past you. If you leave her a little bit of space, she pulls up on the J.
And that's why you need to rely on her. Get her the ball every possession, coming down the stretch with 2 minutes left. Tie ball game at 55.
And you see that's been the plan. She's got the ball 1 out of 2 possessions. And the first possession, Rawling was too wide open to not give. Same here with Morgan. Finds herself open.
And the Tritons have the lead.
Morgan, her 10th point of the day. Not half bad from her either, as the timeout is called with 1:45. 30-second timeout, so we'll talk through it. So now the situation gets a little bit more intense. It's 57-55. Obviously, Iowa Central has shown they were a little bit clever coming out of it because they knew all eyes were going to be on Graffunder. They've used her 1 of the 3, but the other time they've let her hold the ball a bit, see what she draws, and then from there work the passing game.
And now that the Tritons have the lead, William Penn called that timeout. What do you do if you're William Penn?
Now it's tough because now what Morgan has just done, she scored 4 points in the last 5 minutes. 4 of those 10 have been late. Is she's shown that she is a late game threat, and adding that second threat has completely changed from William Penn. Honestly, what I would do, because both of them, Morgan and Graffunder, are better driving than they are pulling up, even though Graffunder has had success pulling up. Really, she's pick your poison. But I would put a lot of focus on the real estate in the paint right now if I was them. Driving, putting it back. And Iowa Central, what they lack in speed, that's, as this one's put down, up for 3. And then it's going to be a jump ball here. When I say that they lack size, that is more of a strategic assessment than a detriment necessarily. Because what having the 5 players, as a 30-second timeout is taken here, what having 5 players that are smaller size or at the best in between guard and post player for them. What that does is you see things like that where you have a slower player dribbling and 3 fast defenders around them. They add so much pressure with speed that honestly, this is the type of game that the NBA is going to more towards now. 1 or 2 big players, but then everyone else capable and can shoot and can drive. And there's a lot of to be said for height in basketball. It's a very, very important thing. It can be the all-determining factor, but speed can kill just as easy. When we come out of timeout here, which they're out of time, but of course, every coach in a key situation will take a little bit of a liberty for those extra seconds. As long as the official's not getting pushy, it'll be 57-55 with a minute 22 left. Dribbling now through the center. Good drive, but I don't think she did it clean, did she? And she's fouled. I was going to say, as many bodies as she drove through, there's no way that she didn't foul and someone didn't foul her. Something had to happen, and they're going to give her the and one.
So the basket ties the game. This free throw for the lead.
And gives Rawling her 4th foul, which is huge. But I don't think, as this one goes up,
no good.
I wouldn't expect Rawling to change her approach at all. There's only a minute left.
So after the missed free throw, the game's still tied.
Trying to feed it through to Gerfunder, but instead it's going to lead to a tied game being put up in transition, and then it still remains tied. Dixon. Santi now. Dribbling. Now I think they're playing 2 for 1. They're going to waste a little bit of time before they finally let the shot go.
3 no good. Gerfunder the defensive rebound.
And did she walk the tightrope? Yep, kept herself in bounds. So now Iowa Central. They can't play for the last shot.
31 seconds left to go. Tritons call timeout.
So now we get to have fun speculating. The shot clock is still on. There's a 10-second difference between the shot and game clock. Do you play with fire and try to get 2 for 1 because you can't hold for the last shot? Or do you hold it late into the shot clock and hope that you can defend for 10 seconds? It's iffy. It's iffy at best.
Very tough call, but that's why we have coaches.
Exactly why we have coaches. We'll see what he goes with. Coach Kelly Kruger.
Michaela Gerfunder, 28 points for Iowa Central.
And you know, there'd be no better time to make it 34.
Asia Cochran, 15 points for William Penn.
So as they take this full minute timeout, you know, and first of all, good coaching, because this is why you save your minute timeouts for last. This is when you want to have a minute to talk. So as we sit back here, don't be surprised to see a play designed for Gerfunder, but they also have 2 options there. Do you run a play, first of all, do you run it late, or do you run it early in the shot clock and play for 2 shots, or do you run it late in the shot clock and play for your defense? And do you give it to Gerfunder, who's been hot all day, is sitting here 1 bucket short of 30, or do you use Gerfunder as a decoy and hope they overcommit, and then you have someone wide open that you trust for a layup? We'll see what they do. Honestly, there's no right... In all of those situations, there's no right or wrong call. We can only throw it up in the air and see what happens. Morgan. Going to take the throw in and give it. And it looks like they're going to hold for a good shot. Now driving. Gets it into Rawling. Puts it up. And it's in. The official calls the defensive foul. And it's going to be and one. And this is a huge free throw right now.
Very huge free throw. This could...
Because, honestly, from what they've shown, William Penn, outside of Donahue, isn't a team that has a lot of three-point assassins. So if you put this up, and she does, she gets it to fall. Now, they're going to call a timeout. And you are going to see a three-pointer launch in about 22 seconds. Because it's their only option left, and this is huge.
In the same situation now the Tritons were in, forced upon William Penn. Do you run out the shot clock, try to tie it with a 3, go to overtime, or do you go 2 and 1,
Honestly,
try to score and then foul?
Honestly, and this is a question that is answered differently in men's or women's games. Because in my personal theory in the men's game is that it's high scoring enough, you have a chance to maybe go 2 for 1. I still have a tendency to hold and trust my best 3-point shooter to do what he does or what she does in this situation. But in the women's game, that's definitely what I do, because with the pace of play, and we only have 115 combined points on the board right now, the chance of you getting 2 good possessions very slim right now. 30-second timeout. Now what's really interesting is Donahue wasn't on the court when they went to the timeout. You figure she has to be now. I believe she's hit 4 3-pointers on the day, taken 7 or 8. So what this really equates to is, are they going to put Donahue on the court? And if they do put her on the court, there's no way you figure Iowa Central's going to let her get a clean shot off. And as I say that, she's the first person out of the huddle to break. So now you see 3 guards and a shooting guard out there for them, for William Penn. 20 seconds left, pressured in the corner. Down by 3 is the official.
An offensive foul called on Donahue. It's going to the Tritons.
And that is a killer, a head scratcher, a mental mistake. Pretty much now.
Now you got a foul.
This turns into a hack game. And we'll see how good Iowa Central's now it comes down to Iowa Central's free throw shooting, and William Penn needs a little bit of luck. And you know who they're trying to get it to is either Graffunder or Rawling, and they get it to Rawling.
And a hard foul by Petrelka on Rawling. A little bit of words exchange there.
And really unnecessary. At this point, the official, all you got to do is tug a little bit of jersey, and the official knows you're trying to give the intentional. No reason for that much contact. The other way, Rawling will go, and if the last free throws were big, these pretty much mean the game if she sinks this.
No Tritons will line up in the box except Rawling taking the free throws.
But now, if she makes one of these, it does become having to trade your shot, which she misses this first one. If she does make one of these, and honestly, even if she misses, expect a mad dash from William Penn. Now this, probably the biggest free throw of the night, is up. And she sinks it. 1 for 2 from the line, but really that's all they needed. Now they have to force down, and she's got no choice but to drive. She has to shoot now, and she does.
Misses it. And off the fingertips of Rawling out of bounds. It'll stay with William Penn, but 7.5 seconds left.
Now pretty much the only thing Iowa Central can't do is foul on a 3-point shot. So if they do sling it out to the perimeter, play good and disciplined. It's all you can do. It's all you have to do.
Dalia Gibbs to inbound. Tipped.
Graffunder's going to control it, and they're not going to let the foul, and that's going to be how this game ends. 1 second left, 0 seconds left. Iowa Central wins the nail biter, but it's a win all the same. They'll go to 2-2 over William Penn. Signing off, I've been Tyson Strayer.
I've been Reese Webb.
You've been watching basketball on the Triton Nation Network. What a beauty of a game. Your Tritons are 2-2.